So I'd like to talk a little bit about depression and how we treat depression at the sanctuary at Sedona. We are finding that the majority of people that come to the sanctuary have depression, either as the primary reason that they're coming or as a co-occurring disorder or dual diagnosis. And I think depression is something that everybody almost in America feels on some level. It's hard not to. We're living in a changing world with changing dynamics. However, there comes a point where depression can reach a place that it's debilitating. It basically feels like there's just darkness. You've heard the term dark night of the soul. All of a sudden, life is being defined by this sense of despair and hopelessness. Tasks like even getting out of bed, being able to care for your own children, getting to work, they're almost insurmountable. And this can be devastating for people who feel a sense of responsibility or feel as though they've been working really hard to get better. They've been taking medications, they've been in therapy, they've been doing everything that they need to do, and yet still find themselves with this debilitating disease. So at the sanctuary, we take a very novel approach to depression. We recognize it clearly as a diagnosis. It affects brain chemistry, and it absolutely is a behavioral health and mental disorder. However, depression is also a symptom. And at the sanctuary, we become very, very curious about anybody who is presenting with any issue as to what is going on underneath. There are root causes at work. There is something going on behind the scenes, whether or not that's some developmental trauma, early childhood issues, complex PTSD. There is always something underneath going on. So while we take a two-pronged approach with depression, absolutely, we're going to be taking care of the physical manifestations of it. It's very hard to be talking about root causes and wanting to get to underlying issues when you can't even get out of bed in the morning. So of course we start working on that and building up the body container with diet, nutrition, brain supplements, IVs, protocols, body work, yoga, meditation, a lot of love, a lot of care, working with the tender issues of our authentic self and who we really are. We spend a lot of time with the nervous system and learning to help people self-regulate so that they can start feeling strong enough and remembering a little bit of hope that we can then get and do the deeper work. And the deeper work really is what is going on underneath this. And interestingly enough, when people come, depression often feels like the problem. You know, we have a lot of resistance with our depression. We see it as the source of so much suffering and our family's suffering. And while that may be the case, we have a different perspective. You know, we also recognize with a lot of compassion and kindness that our depression is also in a way our body's way of trying to take care of ourselves. Believe it or not, is actually a coping strategy. That oftentimes when we're overwhelmed and a lot of these past issues and these past traumas and things in our life that we're not able to process or handle, our body knows. It has an innate intelligence. It shuts down on itself, so that we have an opportunity to actually go and do some deeper work and go get the help that we need. So when people come here, there's a lot of kindness and gentleness around the depression. Do you know that, yes, we want to not have people suffer, but people start looking at it a little bit different way. And when we're able to stop the resistance and the guilt and the shame and all of the negative attributes and feelings we have about ourselves because of our depression, we start softening and find this beautiful heart space where there's some compassion. And when there's the compassion and acceptance about this, it's amazing how all of these other different healing modalities are able to come together and actually allow people to wake up very shortly after they arrive at the sanctuary and remember who they are. Remember, they remember the sunset and the sunrise, and all of a sudden they're tasting food again, and they're remembering their hearts, and they're feeling what it's like to have hope. And it's one of the most beautiful things we see here is when people start connecting to who they really are and connecting to their passion and their purpose and their families and why they're here on this planet. So at the sanctuary, we look at depression from a very holistic approach and can absolutely help you on your journey to find hope again.